just have a look at the markets and the way they've been over the last couple of years since the debt crisis, etc., really what we've seen is a whole host of quantitative easing measures coming out of a lot of the major countries in the world. If you look at the States, just announced QE3, further bond buying programs, further buying of mortgage-backed securities, etc. We've seen the trouble in the Eurozone and the recent granting or approval by the German Constitutional Court for the ECB to go into the markets and actually participate in primary and secondary markets of bond buying. And this is all aimed at generating and stimulating the economy by introducing further liquidity. We've seen it in China as well, but they've been using interest rates and other tools to stimulate the economy. Recently, Japan, again with their exports suffering from a strong currency, they've introduced further quantitative easing. And we've also seen the large central banks around the world really reducing interest rates to near zero. So what the result of that has been in this sort of quantitative easing is that we've seen the currencies of the countries that have been involved in this quantitative easing, the devaluation of those currencies. That's the first thing. We've also seen a flow of funds out of these countries, sort of free money flowing into higher yielding currencies, a lot of the commodity currencies, South Africa being one of those. And the result is that there's almost been a distortion in some way within global currency markets because of this sort of synthetic easing that's happening in most of the global markets. But that in itself can create opportunities. There are opportunities to be had and trading opportunities in the FX market. And traditionally, particularly for South African investors, the European investors have been trading in the FX markets for years. South African investors typically have thought of foreign exchange or FX as a decision to take funds out of South Africa as a sort of rand hedge. And the only way that they've been able to really take advantage of currency moves is in a very old style of actually trading the underlying currency, fixed deposits, dual currency notes, structured type notes that involve trying to take advantage of some sort of currency movement. It's really moved away from that now, and it's actually to a point now where clients can take advantage of those currency movements on a trading platform, trading in these spot markets. And that's really fundamentally changed the way that particularly South Africans look at FX. It's not a case of just hedging out your rand holdings in South Africa. It's now become a speculative tool as well, where you can actually take a position on a particular international currency pair and actually trade that and put a position in the market and actually take advantage and make profit out of those currency moves.